Okay, it is 6:34. We're going to call the Water and Sewer Committee meeting to order. Tonight we need to discuss the past due policy for our customers during COVID-19. We've got a couple of different options kind of to discuss tonight. One option would be that we not cut anybody off until after the next two billing cycles, and that we require either half the payment for the existing bill, and then we could give them up to 3 months to the bill, or we could give them up to 6 months and just set another defined amount. And so if you want to go up to $100, if we give you 3 months, and then over $150 or over $100, maybe 6 months, and they'll be still required to pay their current bill and then also make a payment on the delinquent bill. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody. Or if Ricky, if you've got anything to add in on that.
No, we could, like you said, we could require it or suggest that if they could come up with half the payment, and then depending on the amount, whether it be up to $100 or over $100 on the timeline, just however the board would like to do that. But there'll be some that may or may not be able to pay half, but that's just something that thought that'd be a good place to start.
I think it's a good place to start, and I think it's good that as long as they're showing effort to pay something on it is what we want to see at this point.
They're still going to have, if we do this after, say, June 1, that would give them a month to make some sort of arrangements. And then after that, they just need to realize that they would have, if they paid half, and then it was split in 3 different months, they would still have that split plus their current bill.
I'm not on this committee, but how many people do you have in this situation?
I had Joanne generate a cutoff list just to see, and we were at 196 customers with the amount of $52,666, but that was with garbage on there. I had her actually take the garbage off, and it took it down to $47,225.55.
Yeah.
But there's several on here that they will definitely come off. There's no question in my mind about it. And Nolan had asked me.
Yeah, I think that, and I'm not on this.
Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
I'm not on this committee, but we do have some large customers on there that may have some cash flow problems, some businesses and things like that, that as soon as they're made to pay, they will pay. I think they're just trying to get by as much as they can dealing with their cash flow issues. So what do you think maybe another 7,000 or 8,000 would come off with some of those large
well, there's one on here that's at $7,500, and it will definitely come off. There's no question in my mind about it.
So take that number, that 47,000, and subtract about 12 or 15,000 from it. That's probably what our commercial customers are that have always paid and will pay. And that's probably what we're dealing with on residential. When you say, is that about accurate, Ricky?
Yes, sir. You're probably looking at an average bill of roughly anywhere from most of these are $130 up to roughly $250. I'd say 90% of them on this list. And a lot of times what happens when those calls go out, because we do send an automated call, a lot of times what will happen that afternoon and the next morning we get swamped, and half of them will come off. On a normal basis, we may start with with 80, and then by the next morning before 8 o'clock, we've got 40.
One other question I had was Kevin over at the water department was talking about he had a lot of turn-ons and turn-offs, people moving. Is there any reason for that?
No, I think that I think that may be a timing issue. I've heard that in the past that got a lot of people that's moving, but to my knowledge, I don't know if there's a reason why.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't heard if families are having to move together yet just during this time.
I just wonder if they were moving to get away from the bill.
Hey, this is Libby, and it's my understanding that income tax is a driver of that. When people get their returns, typically we do see some movement.
Gotcha.
And what we do on that, Everett, is we will, if somebody moves out of a residence to another residence, if they've got a current bill, we will not reconnect them until they pay the
Right.
prior bill.
Yeah, I was just concerned about the ones moving out of the city or something.
Okay.
Well, does anybody like that 3-month or 6-month plan?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Is there any way we can communicate with our customers, and as we reopen our government and our businesses back up, and see what their prospects are of when they're going to go back to work, and kind of handle them on an individual basis, but and give them so much time after they go back to work to come in and work out an agreement with us of how they're going to get caught up?
Yeah, I really do see it basis, just having to work with people.
I mean, some of the big corporate people, I mean, I don't have no problem sending them a bill. Small businesses that have been closed, I think we need to work with them, give them some extra time to get back on their feet as they begin to open up. And then individuals, as they begin going back to work, give them some time to, to come in and give us a plan of some kind of how they plan on getting caught up.
Kind of like a good faith effort.
Yes.
And I think that's why waiting maybe until getting through the May cycles and then start then. Or do you think we need more?
I'm sorry, you broke up on me.
I didn't know if you just, we're talking about getting through both May business cycles, and then I didn't know, do you want to push it out to the June or further, or what's? I don't know.
I don't have any problem pushing it on back a little farther, because some people are just now starting to get back to work, and businesses are starting to open, and they're going to have other bills, come rushing in on them too. And I don't care to give them a little more time, especially if they've been kept up to date on their bill paying before with us. I don't have any problem giving them more time to work out a plan to get caught up.
And it's something that we'll be able to watch too, as every 2 weeks when we have meetings, we can kind of watch and see what happens. But yeah, I think if they make a good faith effort to come in and work something out, I mean, that's not something else. I think you go with it.
Let's see. Do y'all want to set a dollar amount with anything, or just give it a time frame?
I would rather give it a time frame, because each case is going to be different, and different people are going back to work at different times, and it's just every situation is going to be different. Now, that's just my thing.
Right. I think the main point that we need to make sure that the public understands is that just any little bit at this point helps.
Yes,
All right.
I agree.
Ricky, do you think pushing it out to What do you think about that?
I'm sorry, you broke up on me, pushing it at how long?
I mean, just out past June.
We're losing the last sentence.
Oh, no, pushing it out to the end of June.
End of June.
Yes,
You mean before we do any kind of disconnections?
right.
I'm fine with that, and that'll give us time to kind of see what's going to come in, because there's some that's not going to do anything until
You make them.
we make that move to disconnect. It's just a matter of them coming in or calling and working out something with us.
Well, then I guess maybe we should just say that the policy is that people make a good faith effort to make any payment on their bill, and then we won't start cutoffs then until I
know one thing that was talked about was I had contacted some other utilities and talked to MES, and they had told me, MES said they were going to start June the 1st, which, if we wanted to say we were going to start June the 1st, it would give our customers a timeline to come in and make an arrangement. That doesn't necessarily mean that we would have to just go out on the 2nd and start cutting people off.
right. If we just set a date to start and then work with them kind of as that time goes on.
Yes. And it's just a matter of what date you would want, and then, like I said, if there's going to be a dollar amount and a time frame based on that dollar amount, or is it going to be a case by case basis?
Right. I see.
How
what you
much,
mean.
just out of curiosity, how much worse is it in delinquent bills you have right now just compared to any other normal time?
You're looking at a little more than double based on what we're starting with, because usually, like I said, we start with, on the normal cutoff list, may have 80 on it. We're looking at 196.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's like Ben said, there's quite a few that's commercial customers that I believe that once we get back to business, and I believe those people will have no problem paying. Don't want to mention any names, but like I said, some of those that's on that list, I believe they'll be paying, and we're looking at mainly residential. We've got just a handful that's over $400, but the rest of them's in that 150 to 250 range. Which, if you put it at say $250, say you had a $250 bill, and they could come up with $125, and then split that out with 3 months, they would be looking at, somewhere around $45 a month. Versus if you went to 6 months, it would be, half that. And we do these promissory notes. We've been doing that, even back when Anthony was here, and it seems like that works well. The people that we have that comes in and that can't pay, that whether they had a big leak or whatever the situation was, I'm not hearing them coming back, our people coming back and saying these people are not paying. So
Yeah. Yes.
it's just a matter of what you want, how you want to set it. If it's going to be on a dollar amount, or if it's going to be like Mike was saying, case by case basis, and if they need a little more time, give them a little more time. As
Right.
long as they're doing what they say they'll do, because there's going to be some people that's going to come in that may say, I can't do half, I can do this much. It's just a matter of if they promise you that they will, just making sure that they stick with what they're promising.
But we could request that they pay it in
Okay.
over a 3-month time to start.
Or 6.
Yeah.
I would propose we give them the option of 3 or 6 months.
Okay.
That works.
And we've been doing that as long as it's, if it's something that's like, a really high bill, then that's something, that we might bring to, committee, but I haven't seen one of those, prior to this, but some of these bills that I'm seeing on this cutoff list is normal bills. It's not like they're unusually abnormal bills for the customer.
Okay. So we could suggest that they try to pay half of it and then give them 6 months to make everything even, just each time.
I personally think that would work. And like I said, if it's something that if they come back and say, I can't do half, but I can do this and I'm willing to do this. And it's just, the biggest thing is it's going to put more workload on the people in the office, they've got more to keep up with. And
Right.
So that would be the biggest thing, but I think we can handle that.
Okay.
I'd be happy if we can just get them, to make some kind of a commitment to a plan of how they plan on handling it until they get back to work or whatever their situation is. If they'll just commit to some kind of a plan to take care of it in the next 6 months or so as best they can, I would be happy, with that situation.
Rachel, you want a dollar amount, or do you just want to ask for good faith?
Well, I like the being able to choose your 3 or 6 month plan. But then always, I think whatever good effort you can make. And then go to case by case, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I don't exactly know how to word it.
No.
I think that what you could do is say that you authorize the water department head to arrange payment plans with people up to a 6 month period at his discretion, with emphasis on trying to get a 50% payment up front and make payments over the shortest period of time.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I will second that motion.
We've got a motion and a second to have the department head accept payment and set up a payment plan per each customer for a period of 6 months. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, with an emphasis on attempting to attain a 50% payment up front.
And we've got a motion and a second. Mr. Nelson, vote.
Aye.
Ms. Kirby?
Yes.
How do you, and I vote yes, so it passes. Is there any other discussion?
Hey, are there any people out there that still think that this is a forgiveness, or are we pretty much getting that message across that it's not something that we're giving up? I mean, that we're giving away, that they still need to pay back a bit.
There was the article in the paper last week, and then today on the Ben Lomond update that we've done, I've tried to emphasize this particular point, that utilities cannot forgive the debts, whether it's electric, water, gas, or whatever, that most of those cannot forgive the debt, and it has to be paid. If you don't pay it, there will be a cutoff. There will be debts owed.
I don't have any problem if we place it before the public, to give them time to come and give us a plan. If they don't come to us and with a plan, I don't have any problem starting to cut them off if they don't come and give us a plan of how they plan on making payment. That would be the minimum, come and telling us how you plan on paying this.
Yeah.
I was just really, I guess, asking Ricky, are they getting feedback from people that still think that it's that we're going to give it to them, or is that message getting out there pretty well?
I haven't. I had one customer call me and she wanted me to waive the deposit because of the pandemic going on, and I told her that I could not waive a deposit, but that's the only call that I've had. And she said, well, this is an emergency situation we're in, but I've had nobody call and say I shouldn't have to pay my water bill.
Well, that's good.
One thing that we all need to keep in mind, and Ricky, this may come down to you making a decision on what to do, is that the federal government may put a moratorium on utility cutoffs. That's not something that's happened yet, but it's potential. There's been talk about it. And so if that happens, then anything that we do here as far as making decisions on when we're going to reinstate our cutoff policy, if the federal government preempts that, then we just can't cut off during that time. That's not something that's happened yet, but just keep an eye out for it. Your associations, probably TAUD, Ricky will update you on that. If it happens, then it is what it is, and there's nothing we can do about it. But I think we need to follow our plan and stick to it. And if the federal government preempts us, then so be it. But until that time, we'll do what we feel is necessary.
Okay. One thing I would ask is, do you want to set a date that call would go out to our customers that's on this list that we will be starting the cutoffs? Do you want to set a date for that, or do you want to just leave that open right now?
I think there needs to be a date set, don't you, Kate?
I do, yes, just so that,
June
yeah.
1st.
Yeah, I think June 1st is a good date.
Okay, gotcha.
That'll get through 2 cycles and yeah.
Okay.
Okay, is there any further business for water and sewer? If not, this meeting's adjourned.